up, guys? Davinator 1, 2, and 2, and it's list day. Ah, yes, list day. One of my only things I do anymore because it's all I have time. And instead of getting back to my top 10 best cards in every main set of the game, I decided to take one more week off of that and do a fun list that one of my subscribers actually sent to me over on the Facebook. So if you guys want to get a hold of me, I have now a Twitter and a Facebook, and I think you can talk to me on Patreon, but that's a clumsy way of doing it. That's for giving me money, not for talking to me.
Just use them, why don't you?
Just use them. But in order to do this funsy list, I also got my buddy Jason to help me out because,
I scare him still.
yeah, he threatened me otherwise. And this list is the top 10 best video game promo cards in Yu-Gi Mans. Basically, whenever we would get one of the Yu-Gi-Oh video games, whether it was for PC, DS, Game Boy, or whatever, normally they would include 1 to 3 cards in that game, like actual TCG legal cards that you could actually use in the TCG, like real life gameplay, not just the cards that actually come on the disc or whatever it is. And these are the top 10 best cards of that set. I did exclude 2 games. One was like an Elemental Hero box set. It came with a deck and packs and like one of the random ADS games, I think, but it didn't have a card list, so I couldn't tell you what was in it, and I'm pretty sure it was probably all reprints anyway. And the other one was like some weird GX game, but all the cards in it were just pieces of Exodia. So that's all it was. It just came with 5 pieces of Exodia. It was some random GX game. I don't know. Without further ado, let's get started, and here's Jason with number 10.
Number 10 on our list is Wyrmbait from Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D's Tag Force 4. Wyrmbait is actually a very simple card. It allows, if you control an insect monster, you get special summon 2 insect tokens. Back then, wasn't really all that good. Now with link summoning and things like that, that card could actually prove to be quite more valuable. The only drawback to using Wyrmbait was that the turn you used it, you cannot normal summon or special summon any level 3 or level 4 monsters. But now that we have link monsters pretty much fully active in the game, that really doesn't stop you for what you would use it for now.
Because they don't have levels.
Do I really gotta tell them that?
I don't know. Number 9 is Nurse Rekfuel the Fallen One, or Dark Lord Nurse Rekfuel. Refuscule? This is one of my favorite cards that I have no idea how to pronounce its name.
Dark Nurse Refuscule.
Refuscule. Just like a Silent Hill villain. Dark Lord Nurse Refuscule is from the game Yu-Gi-Oh! GX Tag Force Evolution for the PS2. This dark level 4 fairy turns any effect that would gain your opponent life points into burn damage instead. So if you activate that legendary gift card, instead of 3k life point gains, it's 3k burn damage. It's basically why you call the deck Nurse Burn, and we actually moved 9 and 10 around just so I could talk about this.
You just couldn't just hold it in, could you?
Nah,
It's all Jason's fault.
Dick Run.
How about Dick Rub? How about that? Don't put that in there.
What you say?
Number 8 on our list is the counter trap Dark Bribe from the GX Tag Force 2. Dark Bribe is actually a very simple card. You use it to negate any spell or trap card, and the only thing that happens is you give your opponent 1 card. So if you negate that right card that's gonna, stop you from winning game, you take it out. Didn't have to pay nothing.
It's not the greatest way of negating stuff, but when it's like your options are like get evenly matched or they draw a card, I guess I'll let them draw a card, right?
Yeah, let them draw a card. That's fine. Come on, you think what's the card that's very popular on the counter trap? The one that negates a trap card and flips it face down.
Oh, Red Reboot?
Yeah, think about it. If you negate the effect of Red Reboot with that, you get to keep activating your trap cards. No, it's not. I'm just talking to you right now. I was done after the only negative part was there, and you just kept talking to me. Why do you think I'm off to the side?
Number 7 is Spell Striker from another GX game, World Championship 2007 for the Nintendo DS. Spell Striker is one of those weird cards that comes in and out of play due to the fact that it's a free special summon by banishing 1 spell card from your graveyard. He's a level 3 Earth Warrior, making him perfect Synchro, Link, or Xyz material, and the fact that he can attack directly means when if it's getting down to the wire and those new end of match procedures about to bone you in the booty, you can always just, bink, Also, you don't take any battle damage from attacks involving this card, so if your opponent retaliates and smacks Little Spell Striker in the face, you don't have to worry about taking damage. Obviously, its best function is the fact that you could probably make a Zold with it, so like...
Easy.
Yeah, but so it gets like better. It's like a wine. It ages well. I'm not sure anyone's playing right now, because like the only deck you'd probably play it in would be like either Goki or...
Dark Warrior.
I mean, I don't think that any of them are, but you could. You wouldn't play in Spells or Sky Strikers, because you don't want to banish stuff out of your graveyard.
You asking me or you telling me?
I'm telling you.
You
I'm pensively telling you.
Number 6 on our list is the trap card Dimensional Prison.
You almost said barrier, didn't you?
Because only one dimensional counts nowadays.
Dimensional Fissure?
Okay, 2 dimensional cards. You gotta come up with another one? God dang, interrupt this.
Mention
The dice. Dimensional Prison from 2008 World Championship, the Yu-Gi-Oh game for the DS, reads, when your opponent's monster declares an attack, target that monster and banish it. Now at this time, we really didn't have a lot of no-cost banishing cards. So when this came into play, going around the destruction of a lot of monsters and removing them further from play, it was actually really useful. I'm not gonna say barrier. I'm not gonna do it.
Number 5 is Galeas the Starbeast from Yu-Gi-Oh! GX Tag Force 3.
Jaden killing it?
He really is. Like, as bad as his main sets of the game are, his video game promos are lit. Like, what the freak, Jaden? Galeas the Starbeast is one of the strangest cards on the list, because if you'd asked me this, like, I don't know, maybe a year or two ago, I probably would have laughed at you and said this card was completely irrelevant, because it kinda was. However, this strange perfect storm kind of coalesced to make this card absolutely broken due to the fact that we had Master Rule 4 come out, Light of Sekka, and the fact that like things like Terror Top are now on the Forbidden Limited list, meaning that Burning Abyss is ever digging for any other level 3 that can special summon itself and make Dante. And the cool thing about Galeas the Starbeast is it might even uniquely work in Burning Abyss better than some of those other things, even like what Spell Striker would, simply because of its summoning condition. You can reveal this card from your hand and then mill 1 card off the top of your deck. If that card was a monster, your opponent takes burn damage equal to its level times 200, and then you get to special summon this monster. If it wasn't, you just destroyed this thing. A level 3 that special summons itself, and the fact that it's milling a card off the top of your deck in Burning Abyss is exactly what they want to do. It's like it mills like Dante while you're on the way to making Dante. It's kind of dumb. And with the new version of the deck playing Sekka's Light, you're almost completely 100% guaranteed to hit a monster, because you're playing like only like what, 3 spells in the entire deck, 3 copies of Sekka's Light, and if you had copies of Sekka's Light, that's not even terrible. Like, you can always just banish it and add another copy. So it's kind of like,
I fill my own deck out.
really good. Actually, it's a really fantastic card for the deck. So like I said, Perfect Storm made this card broke. So, woot.
Number 4 on our list is the normal spell card Mind Control. I swear I get the easiest names out of everyone.
I was half expecting you to call it Brain Control.
It would have been almost as accurate, but no,
TGR.
would you stop that? Mind Control comes from the 2005 World Championship Series.
7 Trials to Glory!
Mind Control is literally a normal spell card that reads, target 1 monster your opponent controls and add it to your side of the field until the end of the turn. And while that card is on your side of the field, it cannot attack or be tributed. Now, back then, that was a little restricting, but after the introduction to the Synchro era and everything else thereafter, you can sacrifice monsters without never really tributing. So Mind Control is literally one of those cards that have gotten better progressively over time with the new summoning mechanics that happen.
Especially if you steal a Link monster.
Oh! It's just broken.
Number 3 is Anti-Spell Fragrance. Yeah, this thing was a video game promo card. It came from a PC game called Yu-Gi-Oh! Power of Chaos Yugi the Destiny. I actually remember this. I think I had Joey the Passion when I... That's what it was called! Basically, you had like 2 sets of the game and like the starter decks, and it just taught you how to play. And it had like a cheesy campaign mode, if I remember correctly.
Oh.
I almost could remember the cheesy music too. I must have played it into the dirt because it was like the only way I could play Yu-Gi-Oh! On a computer at the time. Anyway, Anti-Spell is a continuous floodgate trap card that reads, both players must set spell cards before they activate them, and they can't activate them until the start of their next turn. So if you set an MST, you cannot use it on your opponent's turn. Don't let your opponent do that to you. Days Gotta Wait. Obviously, this card is really fantastic because any spell-centric deck gets slowed down by an entire turn, which pretty much destroys any advantage of having like a bunch of quick play spells like Sky Strikers, because now they're playing Paleo at that point, basically. And if your opponent happens to be playing a Pendulum deck, like, I don't know, maybe Ryan, for instance, Ryan is going to be super salty because you're not allowed to set Pendulum cards into your Pendulum scale. You simply can't do it. It's not a viable mechanic, so you just simply can't play Pendulums, which is just really funny. There really isn't many floodgates in this game that completely shut down an entire mechanic in the way that Anti-Spell shuts down Pendulums by simply saying no. You literally can't make that action. It's not like, it's negating the effects or something. No, it's like you literally just can't make that simple game action. So it's kind of a dumb ruling, but it is a great floodgate, and this is one of those other cards that's just gotten better over time. Yes, I'm still here for number 2 because Jason didn't want to talk about it. Infernity Archfiend is number 2, and this comes from another World Championship game. It's Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D Stardust Accelerator World Championship 2009. Every single one of these games is an absolute mouthful. Rushif of Destruction. What does Rushif even mean? Is that a word? I don't know. Secretly, on the down low, the reason why Jason didn't want to talk about this card was he did not feel he could talk about Infernities as a deck, and he thinks I can any more than he can, and I absolutely can't. How? Because it is the womboest of wombo combo decks. I'm not even going to pretend I know how to play it. However, what this card does, basically, if you have no cards in your hand, you can special summon this card, and when it's summoned, you can search an Infernity card from your deck to your hand. You can't have any cards in your hand in order to resolve the search effect, meaning that he has to be the last one, and then you can't change something cheesy to it. However, it doesn't really matter. With the other Infernities, I think it's Necromancer, you can keep summoning this thing from the grave, and you keep searching cards, you keep just looping this damn thing. And eventually you can search like your entire deck, and like I just watched this replay video. This guy like trished his opponent like 4 times. Like,
don't forget you summoned Brionic just to throw cards back in his hand so he can trish.
He played Leviair like twice. Like it was using like pre-run. So the card's at 1 for a very good reason. You just loop the crap out of it. You garner your advantage, and it works the way the Infernities are supposed to work, and that is not having any cards in your hand. I know enough top level information to make that statement with some level of assurity.
Assurance.
Assurant insurance.
I'm not going to say it.
Yes, do it!
Are you in good hands?
That makes me laugh.
Alright, now comes the time which everyone loves, is their honorable mentions. The honorable mentions for these games are Destiny Hero Disc Commander and Sinister Serpent. Right now, if I know Dave, he got them probably dancing around both sides of my head right now. Now, some people wonder, why would you put both of those cards on the honorable mentions list and not on the list themselves? It's because errata killed them. They went from being completely dope and awesome to being and yes, is a word right now. Disc Commander reads, cannot be special summoned from the graveyard the turn it is sent there. If this card is special summoned from the graveyard, draw 2 cards. You can only activate the effect of Destiny Hero Disc Commander once per duel. So the card used to not say the first and the last sentence the way it used to be. It used to be summon it from the graveyard, draw 2 cards. Then if you need an example of that, you should watch that whole 2017 World Championship match between Aster Phoenix and Jack Atlas. Sinister Serpent, on the other hand, had a specific timing. If it was in the graveyard during your standby phase, you can add it back to your hand. Now, Sinister Serpent was awesome because it would be the perfect fodder for discard costs. It's literally not. It's pretty dookie, actually. I think I can say dookie, right?
It's basically it banishes if it's in your opponent's graveyard during their end phase, it banishes, and you can only use it. That's what they changed.
You got that right. Good. All right. Today's dishonorable mention is Perfectly Ultimate Great Moth. Perfectly Ultimate Great Moth cannot be normal summoned as said, and it must be special summoned after 6 turns with Petite Moth being on the field, equipped with Cocoon of Evolution. If you think about that, this monster was nothing more than a big dumb beater that you could only bring out if you waited 6 turns. If you stalled your opponent for 6 turns and they didn't get you back, one of y'all is not playing Yu-Gi. I'm going to tell you that right off the bat, okay? Y'all sitting there twiddling your thumbs or jacking each other off. I don't understand how you survive 6 turns with the 2,000 defense. Nothing should last that dang long. Even the
somebody
slow
just
music.
didn't win.
Somebody was just, I want to see you do it. Now, luckily, with the Ultimate Cocoon Evolution.
And a wild monster appears. That's the other thing.
Oh, thank you. A wild monster appears, an Ultimate Cocoon of Evolution. You can bring those cards out in turn 1 just by sending a insect that is equipped with the monster to the graveyard. So even though it makes your big dumb beater a lot more valuable, it's still dumb. It's perfectly ultimate waste of time.
And today's sponsor is, as always, MetaMats. If you want a custom cloth playmat, you can use my promo code TROLLTHEMeta and you'll get like 10% off your order. You get cool stuff, like they made my Davinator mat, like it's got Ryan on one side, which is gonna probably get green screened out. And it's got me on this side. Isn't it cool? And then I got this Dark Magician Girl one that I like. I like tan Dark Magician Girl. Hot. She's like Arcana's Dark Magician Girl, which doesn't really exist.
Well, Arcana doesn't deserve that right there.
And then at the PPG tournament, they had these like the entry mats. And this is dope.
Backed up Brawly with the green. Oh my god, all that green has to be up the green pig now.
I probably have turned the effect off at this point. Basically, all they do is make really cool mats. So use my promo code and you get 10% off. And it's coolness. I don't know how to end this. That awkward sign off will be fine. And number 1 is Harpy's Feather Duster from Yu-Gi-Oh! Worldwide Edition Stairway to the Destined Duel.
Say that again, I bet you can't.
Stairway to the Destined Duel.
You didn't say the Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yu-Gi-Oh! Worldwide Edition Sting. Do I even need to explain to you why this banned card is number 1? It's a normal spell card that reads, destroy all spell and trap cards your opponent controls. No cost, it's just straight plussins. It's broke, and I really wish we had it. We have Regeki instead of this. The OCG has this. It's annoying. Fun fact, Stairway to the Destined Duel is actually one of the few of these games I actually distinctly remember owning. However, I had the Japanese version, and the reason why that was because it came with like the first English print of the God cards. But it was like the blue obelisk, red Slifer, and yellow Ra that you can't actually play. Wait. Yeah. See, this is my old binder from when I was like a kid. It's got all this cheesy stickers on it. And like in there, yeah, there they are.
Aww.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
Back when Yu-Gi-Oh! Was cool and slow.
Yeah, and you can't even play these. But no, yeah, in the TCG version of the game, we got Harpy's Feather Duster, which is actually a better card than unplayable God cards. But the cool thing about that Japanese version was if you just could fumble through the menus on your Game Boy Advance and not know what you're clicking until you get the language, and they split the language into flags instead of words. So you just find the American flag and click that, and then all turns to English. It wasn't region locked. I have no idea why you were actually allowed to use it on a North American Game Boy. But
because they didn't really care back then.
Yeah, but Nintendo would still region lock stuff, so I don't know why you're allowed to do it. But whatever. But yeah, Harpy's Feather Duster. It's fantastic. But anyway, guys, that was the list. I hope you enjoyed it. It's just kind of a fun thing. One of my subscribers actually had mentioned that I try making a deck out of every one of the video game promo cards.
Because they love to see you lose.
And I didn't know how the hell I would do that because most of them don't have a cohesive theme. I think the best you could do is make like a synchro deck with like Floor Synchron and the Stygians.
How about that? How about we go with no?
But instead I decided, why don't we just talk about the best ones of the set, because you know what? There's some pretty nifty cards in here. So anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed the list. And remember, guys, if you don't troll the meta, who will? I'll see you guys for the next list, which is going to be Gladiator Assault.
Oh, hey losers. What are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button. Wanna watch something else? Hurry up and choose one of these. Ugh. When are you gonna make a choice? This year would be nice.